Hey everyone, welcome to another $1,000 strap search. I've got my $1,000 in singles here and I'm about to show you what I found. But before I do, let's talk about this week's tip. When you are collecting currency, you need a place to put your currency as you start accumulating stuff. Now, obviously, I don't save $1,000 every single time, but I do end up pulling quite a few bills out of each stack. What I do is I use a checkbook box. So as I finish each $1,000 search, I put the notes inside this box. When the box is full, that's when I go through looking for my star notes to see if there's any rares. And I'll go through and that's when I'll do my culling. If there's anything that's in really bad shape, I'll get rid of it. And if not, I will save it. I will either put it in a sleeve or I will put it in a shoebox, because a shoebox is also roughly the same size, as you can see. So those are the two things that I use as far as storage for my notes. They're fairly cheap and fairly convenient. So that's my tip for this week. Make sure to use those checkbook boxes and the shoe boxes. All right, here's my 1,000 in singles. Get those out of the way. Take a look and see what I found this week. Let's see. Make sure I grab everything. Starting off with an alternator. This has got 9s as the alternator. 9-3, 9-5, 9-3, 9-0. 9s is alternating. Then I found some trinaries. 3s, 4s, and 8s on this particular one. 1s, 5s, and 6s here. 0s, 5s, and 9s. And 4s, 6s, and 8s. 4s, 5s, and 7s. And this one was neat. It's a trinary, and I found consecutive bills. So this one is 3s, 4s, and 6s, ending in 33, and the next one is 3s, 4s, and 6s, ending in 34. So it's neat to find consecutive numbers when they're both worth keeping like that, rather than just being average consecutive numbers. 1s, 6s, and 9s here, and it's an older note, a 2001. There aren't a whole lot of 2001s left in circulation because they were obviously made in 2001, but the next series came out in 2003, so there wasn't a lot of time for these to be out there. So maybe you should start thinking about saving those as well. This is 2s, 5s, and 6s. And then we get to the quads. Quad 3s, quad 4s, and 6s. There are 5 6s on this particular note. 5 of a kind, 5 in a row. And then we get to my stars. This one's in pretty good shape. 2017. 2017. There's a lot of notes that are going to have these little marks here, and those are actually wet ink transfers from the previous note. It's not a high-valued error or anything like that, but it is, a type of a misprint, but that's what those lines actually are. If you were to look at the back of the note, the dark right here, this dark, and this dark right here, when that gets overprinted and turned over onto the face, that's when you get those lines. You see those quite a bit. They don't really add to the value of the bill at all because it is such a common error. This one starts with a couple zeros, so that has a chance. 2017 as well. This one's pretty rough. And this one's rougher, starting with a couple zeros again. Maybe that could be. Yeah, as I've said before, I always take all my stars, I store them together, and then once I get a good stack, I will then check them out at mycurrencycollection.com because you can go through quite a few of them in just a few minutes. If you do them one at a time, it takes quite a bit of time, but I did a review on how I do mine, so you guys got to see. Boy, that one's a rough one. That's a little better. Really hard fold there. And what else do we got? Old notes. For my old notes, this one's a 1999, 1995, another 1995, and another 1995. And this one looks like it's 1895, but nope, 1995. And the oldest note in the group, this one is from 1988A. And that looks like it sat outside for a number of days. Probably going back in circulation. Not really worth keeping, but it was a find, so I did pull it. And for those of you who spotted it right away, what do I have in the case? Check that out. 7 ones in a row. 7 of a kind. Now that is something you don't see very often. I would have much rather had the note 3 bills earlier that would have been all ones, but 1 1, 1 1, 1 1, 1 4. I will take that. I've searched pushing 150,000 notes, and I've only found like 1 or 2 of these. So this is definitely a rare find for me. I saw this, I had to put it in a case right away. 7 of a kind and 7 in a block. That's the better part. They're not broken up. They're all in a row. So that was definitely the find. All right, so what did I pull out this week? This week I pulled out a little something, and when I say little something, I'm not kidding. It's little, teeny tiny. This is actually a 1869 fractional currency, 1869 50-cent note. During the Civil War, there was a coin shortage, and yes, the Civil War didn't go to 1869, but the coin shortage certainly did. So they ended up printing paper money using that as change. So that was interesting. The fact that they had nickels, dimes, quarters, halves in paper money. That way, they were still able to make change for people because most people were hoarding precious metals. Now, this one here on the back states that if you save up $3 worth, you can turn them in at the bank and get 3 paper dollars or 3 silver dollars, not to be used for more than $5 at a time. The 50-cent note, this one, like I said, is from 1869. They made 5 different series, and let's take out the book, and we'll find out exactly when all that stuff happened. You can see right here. There's the note. Now, this was the only variety of 50-cent, or the only version of this particular 50-cent note. Some of them have, like this one here, has got different seals and stuff like that. I'm not going to get into that right now. But this particular one features Edwin M. Stanton. He was the Secretary of War under President Lincoln. And there's the back, much easier to read there. This note is exchangeable for United States notes by the Assistant Treasurer, and so on down the line. You can read everything that it says there. Now, I was saying before about the different series, and here it is. The first, where'd it go? Lost it. First issue was August 21st, 1862, and we get here second issue, October 10th, 1863. Third issue, 1864, December 5th. Fourth issue, which is this one here, July 14th, 1869 to February 16th, 1875. Final issue was 1874 to 1876. Those were the 5 different issues of the fractional currencies. And this one, like I said, is the 4th edition. Now, the one up top, that 4th issue there featuring Lincoln is the one that's so desirable. And you can also see that's why, of course, they had Edwin Stanton on the next one, because they kind of go together. So, that is the 50-cent fractional currency from 1869, part of the Civil War issues. Civil War currency, I mean, you're talking over 150 years old, right? Let's see, 1869, yeah, that would be 1919 at 150 years. So yeah, not too often you can have a piece of paper that old. That's part of the reason I like collecting currency, because you don't expect paper to be around that long. Yes, it's not paper, it's cloth, but you get the idea. Metal tends to outlast cloth. So that's what I got for you guys this week. If you learned anything new, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, go ahead and subscribe. If you leave a comment, I've been very good at replying to all comments. Thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll see you next week.